Well, we got up in pitch black darkness this morning at 6 o'clock, and the plan is to do a bit of a loop around a few of the waterholes. We're starting nice and early because we want to see some animals. The irony is we woke up and there are prints here that look like leopard prints coming up right through our camp, and some of our rubbish torn up, leopard or hyena. But yeah, hopefully we'll see some more on the game drive. It's cold, but we've got some coffee made. Let's hop in the bucky and have some coffee, put the heater on, and head towards the first spot.
This section of the park is home to a number of large pans scattered around our camp at Mabua. We plan to visit as many of these as we can over the next 2 days and have created 2 routes which connect them all. The eastern loop, which we'll be driving this morning, which connects to Lesholoago, Monamodi and Mpaya Pan, and the western loop, which passes Ephemeral, Malazzo and Kidding. This morning's drive is 75 kilometers. Let's do it.
Sometimes it's important to just sit back, soak it in, and be grateful for what you have. There's many people who don't have opportunities like this, and to be able to be here in Botswana, the sun rising on my right, en route to a pan, in a capable 4x4 vehicle, it's special. So we're soaking in the sights and the smells and the sounds, and even the -3 degrees temperatures right now. It's all part of the experience. We don't get that back home, and yeah, good to be in Africa at this very moment right now.
After seeing so much at Mpaya's waterhole the previous day, we were keeping our fingers crossed that some of these other pans may hold more surprises. However, we quickly learned that most of the waterholes had actually dried up completely, and the only entertainment at Lesholoago came in the form of this black Quran. Many of these pans have campsites, and we decided to make stops at as many of them as we could, just to get an idea of whether we might want to stay at any of them next time. Some camps have great views and no water, some have water but are in less exciting locations. I'll give my full assessment in the next episode. As we moved on south towards Monamodi, we were starting to think that maybe this just wouldn't be our day after all, but that was all about to change. There must have been water somewhere in this area because everything just seemed to suddenly come alive. It started off with doves, then Cory bustards, then a honey badger, and then the one we've all been looking for.
I see him.
We got our leopard halfway up Monamodi Pan. We actually passed a group of guys from all kinds of different countries riding in convoy, and they told us, hey, there's a leopard at the top of the pan. So we kind of cruised up, stopped, glassed, cruised up, stopped, glassed, and yeah, eventually Luke and Rachel spotted him just walking through the long grass here. Very well spotted because he hid pretty well in the grass. And then, yeah, managed to get a few clips of him, and then he lay down and it's just completely vanished again. No, it's awesome to see this. It's like that one thing we wanted to tick off the list. We've got lions, we've got lots of other animals. I suppose the last thing is just a wild dog, pack of wild dogs. That would be special.
A minute later, and I don't think we would have seen that thing.
Jason, weren't you saying yesterday that Monamodi Pans is where we should be looking for leopards?
I think the northern one, the Lesholoago one, was the leopard hotspot, but with no water there now, I'm assuming they've also moved down to this watering hole.
We continue around the pan, looping back around when we get to the northern point, and more sightings await on the way down. After Monamodi, our route takes us west, and we soon get to a junction that connects to Mpaya Pan via a very straight, very sandy road.
One of the interesting things you see out here in Botswana are these dead straight roads through the middle of nowhere that seem to be straight for no particular reason. These are cut lines. They're basically lines just drawn on a map with a ruler, and some of them were used for surveying when they're looking for oil and stuff like that. Some of them are used as access roads to remote areas, and then some of them, like this one's labeled a foot and mouth cup lane, which means it's probably a control road for cutting off the foot and mouth disease areas from other areas so that they can actually control the spread of stuff. I don't know how having a straight road through the middle of nowhere controls foot and mouth, but yeah, this is the foot and mouth cut line, and it takes us between Mpaya Pan and the turn off to the office. You know, they call this a self-drive safari. It's because you don't need to touch a steering wheel. The wheels just stay in the ruts when you drive. So you can kind of just sit back and let the car drive itself.
noticed a bunch of markers spread out around Mabua Pan, and it seems that they exist to mark the locations of boreholes and water pipes that must have been used to pump water into the waterholes and to the campsites. Sadly though, this water seems to have run dry, and there is no water to be found anywhere near here. So if you're coming here, particularly in the summer, bring plenty.
It's early afternoon, we're back at camp just relaxing. It's heated up really nicely now, it's probably about 25 degrees. So we've had a quick lunch. Nicole and I just had leftover mince from the other night and just made some more nachos. And I think I'm going to probably take another afternoon nap. In this heat there isn't too much to do other than go for a drive or find a place with shade. Most of the guys are just sitting in the shade of our awning with camp chairs. But we also just met someone camping close to us who has been coming here for 20 years and says that they think that there's a lion on its way here to our camp or somewhere around here. So who knows, we may be seeing a lion soon. If we do, that'll be great. If we don't, we've got another 2 days here, so maybe we'll see something then. So the dubbers are in charge of putting together a dinner tonight, and we've gone to the Potjie because it's kind of it's just something we do on these long trips. Like at least once we have to do a Potjie, traditional South African meal, and it's easy to kind of put all kinds of tastes and flavors together and make it taste good. So Nicole's more in charge of the vegetables and stuff. That's not my forte, but we've all brought little bits and pieces. Some people brought some fruits or vegetables, some people brought stuff in cans or sauces, and then everyone brought their own pack of meat, and we're all going to put it together, and over the next few hours we're going to just let it all stew together and taste good, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think this might be one of our favorite meals just because I feel like it brings everybody together. Like we're all going to get to enjoy, because everybody helped in some way to bring like all these vegetables together, so we all can just chill later, enjoy this beautiful view we've got in front of us, sit like with the sunset, and enjoy our meal later. So we're very excited for this one.
Just a quick shout out to the guys at Rusty 4x4 who sent us, along with many other awesome things, a massive box of these Ecolite firelighters just out of the kindness of their hearts. It's really cool to see people just so generous like that. You can actually use a promo code on Rusty 4x4's website, MattDubber, all capitals, one word, and you can get 10% off. So I'll put a link to that down below, but these guys have been awesome to us and we just want to thank them for that. Well, it's that time of the evening again where we start to count down the minutes to sunset. And yeah, no clouds in the sky today, so it may not be quite as colorful as yesterday, but with a pan like that behind us and a Potjie brewing right at our camp, we know it's going to be a good night regardless. We're on high alert tonight. I keep talking about the animals, but I'm looking right now in front of me at all these circles on the ground. Those are paw prints from an unknown animal that came through our camp last night and carried away a whole meat dish about probably the size of my head with food in it, and somehow managed to keep the lid on. So we're all a little bit confused about that. It must be something that's A, pretty big, because it's got to fit that whole thing in its mouth, and B, it's got to be able to do so quietly and without toppling it over. So yeah, we found the meat dish like probably 100 meters down that way, completely intact with all the food gone. Super weird, but we'll be on the lookout for whatever that is. It's something with big paws. Could be a hyena, could be a big cat, one of those two, but we'll keep you posted for sure.
At the time, I didn't realize that we'd actually captured this mystery animal on the trail cam the previous night. It's very hard to see, but we think it was a brown hyena. With the potjie simmering away nicely, all that's left to do is to wait.
A lot of people don't know this about potjie pots and the numbering system and the rings and what that actually means. But essentially, this is a number 3 pot, and every line means 3 servings. So if you had a number 1 pot, each line would be 1 serving. If you had a number 2 pot, each line would be 2 servings. So number 3 pot, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So that's 12 servings out of this, and we are 9 people. So we should be getting plenty of food, and it should keep us going, especially if we're adding rice and stuff. I think we're going to have plenty of leftovers for tomorrow, which is always a good thing. Potjie is one of those things that tastes better the next day.
We thought that the cooking was over, but Isabel had other plans. Have you ever seen cinnamon buns cooked on the braai? Well, we're going to give it a bash and see how they turn out. We were all enjoying our time around the fire so much that we kind of forgot that we were right in the middle of lion territory, until a series of roars that sounded very close got us up onto our feet, and you can see here in the time lapse we were suddenly on very high alert.
Okay, well, I put some coals on top of the potjie so it can't get any without burning its lips.
The show must go on though, and with the potjie ready and the cinnamon buns on the grid, it's time to eat.
Nicole was also.
We're all eating standing up so that we can run away quickly.
For some reason, it's like.
The cinnamon buns were a big hit, and this is definitely not the last time we'll be trying these on the braai. Sometimes you just have to take a risk and experiment.
We were just sitting at the fire, and like we've been hearing like whispers and stuff like, oh, maybe there's a lion, and then eventually we heard a huge roar like right behind our camp over here, and all of us, we've been speaking about how we're going to keep calm and sit at the fire, and literally nobody was calm. Everybody scattered, ran to the cars, and now we're just hiding in our cars at the moment. But it was actually ridiculous. We haven't heard another roar, but we're just sitting and waiting now, I guess. But it was hilarious. Matthew went to go turn the trail cam on. We're all going to the cars. He's putting the trail cam on.
I don't even think it's that close.
I don't think so. He's like far away.
Do you want to document this moment?
It's been an eventful night. It started out by making a Potjie by the fire. Going to go shower afterwards and brush our teeth, and Luke was in the shower. Was taking his clothes off to go shower and get ready when we heard it fall. Nevertheless, we ran out the shower with Luke with his shorts on, and we are now using the wet wipes ourselves.
Unfortunately, we didn't manage to get this moment on camera, but as Nicole and I lay in the rooftop tent, we heard the roars come closer and closer. We stuck our torch out the window, and probably 15 to 20 meters away from our camp was a big male lion just staring right at us. He eventually turned away and walked off, but this is why we come here.